This is the story of three unexpected friends and our quest to complete an 8-day, 90-mile traverse through Glacier National Park. The Continental Divide and the alternate Continental Divide would be our trails of choice. Months of anticipation and several days of planning was all about to culminate into one 8-day journey. We were excited and anxious, a little nervous, but we were ready. We were ready to enter the backcountry and walk alongside Mother Nature and live where the wild things are. We hit the trail on Monday, September 21st, 2021, on what was a sunny but cold and windy day. Telltale signs for what was to come later in the week. Full of bravado, though, we threw our life on our backs, all 45 pounds of what would keep us alive on this trip, and headed up to Dawson Pass. Day one would prove to be arguably the most physically demanding day of them all. However, you couldn't ask for much better views to kick things off. You could ask for less wind though. We'd wind up getting to camp around 5:30. High above us was a pack of mountain goats and a moose on the other side of the lake. Fatigued from the long day, we'd be asleep soon and have no alarm clocks. Day two was quiet, peaceful, and again filled with outstanding views. The 5-mile hike from Morningstar Lake to Triple Divide Pass was outstanding, so of course, we made sure to break at the top so we could soak in the views on each side. The hike down was an arduous slog, but a beautiful one. Waterfalls led us out of a thick and lush forest deep into a valley-scarred landscape still healing from its wounds some decades ago. In a strange way, though, I found this portion of the park eerily appealing. The wind howling and a storm brewing in the distance, it would rain like hell soon. Another good night's rest was due. Our third day was our rest day, thanks to the park rangers, and although it didn't seem like a good day for a rest day initially, it was a blessing in the end. We'd wake up late for the third day in a row, eat breakfast around a fire, and listen to stories from the resident Neanderthals, better known as thru hikers. These incredible people were averaging 20 to 40-mile days out here and were fast approaching the end of a 3,000-mile journey from Mexico to Canada. We, on the other hand, just had to go to the other side of the lake. Today would mark the first of 3 consecutive days where we'd hike 14 or more miles, ultimately covering half our trip's total distance. Although, it hardly seems like anything after yesterday's conversations. Today's hike, though, we would blaze through. We'd spend 8 long and beautiful miles hiking alongside St. Mary Lake before coming to its end, which was bittersweet, because the end of the lake would serve as our first real encounter with standard tourists, but not the last. We quickly escaped the glimpse of society and all the noises that come with it and proceeded another couple miles to our camp for the night. Day 5, while full of adversity, was one of my favorite days of the trip. The packs were a bit lighter and we were well fed and well rested. Unfortunately, fire smoke would impact the views today, but this part of the journey would be some of the most beautiful miles I'd ever hiked. We would earn every bit of it, though. For 2 days prior, we were warned several times that severe wind and potentially snow was coming. Several thru hikers were jumping off trail for a few days to avoid the expected chaos. A little smoke would be the least of our worries. We'd encounter tornado-level winds on top of Piegan Pass, so severe that the 3 of us were forced to sit down, mid-trail, dozens of times or be thrown hundreds of feet downhill. Some 3,000 feet below the exposed ridge that we were on, the weather reports were calling for 75-mile-an-hour gusts. With no choice but to go downhill, this exposed portion of the pass took us 1.5 hours to go 1 mile. I guess they were right. Today was our last full day in Glacier, and it was going to be another good one. With the worst weather and the most difficult days behind us, we packed up for one last tough climb up and over another ridge. As per usual, the views did not disappoint. We were now only about 20 miles from the Canadian border, giving us views as far as the eye can see. Over the last week, we'd seen a pack of mountain goats, 8 moose, and today we would see, surprisingly, our only bear of this section hike. We were rapidly approaching the end, and as we reflected on what we were about to complete, it was quite surreal for us. The journey was a strong reminder of what was most important in life for each of us, a confirmation of how much the mind and body really can do when you commit to something. It reminded us that Mother Nature rules all, and while it can be painfully cruel at times, it's usually just breathtakingly beautiful.